Sudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudhirayat.
Tato Jayamudhirayat.
Nastaprayeshu Vabhadreshu.
Nastaprayeshu Nasteshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttamashloke.
Bhagavati Uttamashloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Bhagavati Naishtaki.
We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter number 3, Text number 42.
今日繼續閱讀聖典課加談第一篇第3章第42節。
Sa tu samshravayam
Samsasvayam
asa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangayam Paritam Paramashibhi. Satu samshravayam asa. Maharajam Parikshitam. Prayopavishtam Gangayam. Paritam Paramashibhe. Satu samshravayam asa. Maharajam Parikshitam. Prayopavishtam Gangayam. Paritam Paramashibhe. Satu samshravayam asa. Maharajam Parikshitam. Prayopavishtam Gangayam. Paritam Paramashibhe. Satu samshravayam asa. Maharajam Parikshitam. Prayopavishtam Gangayam. Paritam Paramashibhe. Alright. Chant.
Satu samsravayam asha. Maharajam Parishitam. Prayopavishtam Gangayam. Paritam Paramashibhe. Satu samshravayam asa. Maharajam Parikshitam.
Prayopavishtam Gangayam Paritam Paramarshibhi Tatu Samshravayam Asa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangayam Paritam Paramarshibhi. Yes, very good. Sa, the son of Vyasadeva.
The son of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva 之子
To
to
again
again 再次
Samshravayam Asa.
Samstravayam asa
Make them audible.
使聽得到
Maharajam
Maharajam
unto the emperor.
unto the emperor 向帝王
Parikshitam
Parikshitam
of the name Parikshit.
of the name Parikshit 名叫 Parikshit
Praya Upavishtam,
Payapavishtam
who sat until death without food or drink.
who sat until death without food or drink 坐在那裏不飲不食直至死亡
Gangayam,
Gangayam
on the bank of the Ganges.
on the bank of the Ganges 在恒河岸
Paritam,
Paritam
being surrounded.
being surrounded 被圍着
Parama Rishibi,
Parama Vishibi
by great sages.
by great sages 由偉大的聖哲們
Translation: Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great Emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink.
譯文 Sukadeva Goswami Vyasa 的兒子，接着把這部博加亞談傳給了偉大的帝王 Parikshit。當時帝王正坐在恒河岸邊斷食斷水等待死亡，身邊圍繞着眾多的聖人。
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. All transcendental messages are received properly in the chain of disciplic succession. This disciplic succession is called parampara. Unless therefore Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literatures are received through the parampara system, the reception of knowledge is not bona fide. Vyasadeva delivered the message to Sukadeva Goswami, and from Sukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami received the message. One should therefore receive the message of Bhagavatam from Sutta Goswami or from his representative, and not from any irrelevant interpreter. Emperor Parikshit received the information of his death in time, and he at once left his kingdom and family and sat down on the bank of the Ganges to fast till death. All great sages, rishis, philosophers, mystics, etc. went there due to his imperial position. They offered many suggestions about his immediate duty, and at last it was settled that he would hear from Sukadeva Goswami about Lord Krishna. Thus the Bhagavatam was spoken to him. Sripad Shankaracharya, who preached Mayavada philosophy and stressed the impersonal feature of the Absolute, also recommended that one must take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, for there is no hope of gain from debating. Indirectly, Sripad Shankaracharya admitted that what he had preached in the flowery grammatical interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra cannot help one at the time of death. At the critical hour of death, one must recite the name of Govinda. This is the recommendation of all great transcendentalists. Sukadeva Goswami had long ago stated the same truth, that at the end one must remember Narayan. That is the essence of all spiritual activities. In pursuance of this eternal truth, Srimad Bhagavatam was heard by Emperor Parikshit, and it was recited by the able Sukadeva Goswami, and both the speaker and the receiver of the messages of Bhagavatam were duly delivered by the same meditation.
要指在師徒傳承中，所有超然嘅信息都被正確地接受。梵文稱這師徒傳承為 parampara。聖典博加雅談或任何其他嘅奉獻、偉達文獻，除非係經師徒傳承接受的，否則不可能對其中傳達嘅知識有正確嘅了解。Vyasadeva 把聖典博加雅談嘅信息傳給 Sukadeva Goswami。Sutta Goswami 又從 Sukadeva Goswami 那裏接受了同樣嘅信息，因此人應該從 Sutta Goswami 或他的代表那裏接受聖典博加雅談的信息，而不是從不恰當嘅解釋者那裏接受。帝王 Parikshit 被告知他死亡的時間後，立刻離開他的王國和家庭，在恒河岸邊坐下斷食直到死亡。由於他是當時嘅帝王，所有偉大嘅聖哲賢人、神秘主義者等都趕到那裏。就有關他當時嘅責任問題，他們向他提出許多建議，最後決定他該聆聽 Sukadeva Goswami 講述有關主 Krishna 的一切。就這樣 ，Sukadeva Goswami 給他講述了聖典博加雅談。Sripad Shankaracharya 傳播強調絕對這非人格特徵嘅假象中 Mayavadi 哲學，但就連他最後也勸人必須託庇於 Sri Krishna 嘅蓮花足。他說明光是辯論並不能使人得到什麼。他承認他用紛繁複雜嘅文法修辭對 Vedanta Sutra 所作嘅解釋和宣講，在人死亡時並不能提供幫助。在死亡嘅緊要關頭，人必須念誦 Govinda 的名字。這是所有偉大嘅超然主義者提出嘅忠告。很久以前 ，Sukadeva Goswami 就說明了這同一事實。人在死亡時必須記着 Narayana， 這是所有靈性活動嘅本質。為了追求永恆嘅真理 ，Parikshit 王聆聽了有資格嘅 Sukadeva Goswami 講述的聖典博加雅談。聖典博加雅談嘅講述者和聆聽者都靠同一個媒介得到了拯救。
Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sachevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Ghorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Natma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Translation again. Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great Emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink.
譯文 Sukadeva Goswami Vyasadeva 嘅兒子，接着把這部博迦談傳給了偉大嘅帝王 Parikshit。當時帝王正坐在恒河岸邊斷食斷水，等待死亡，身邊圍繞着眾多的聖人。
So Srila Prabhupada immediately begins the purport by speaking about the importance of receiving the Srimad Bhagavatam from the Parampara.
咁聖帕巴喺呢度咧，喺要旨嘅一開始咧就講到咧，我哋必須咧係要喺呢一個承認嘅師道傳承當中咧，接受呢一個信息嘅重要性。
Just as Sukadeva Goswami received this Bhagavatam from his father, Srila Vyasadeva.
就好似咧係 Sukadeva Goswami 咧從佢父親啦 Srila Vyasadeva 嗰度咧接受呢個知識。
And Srila Vyasadeva had been guided by his guru, Srila Narada Muni.
咁而Vyasadeva 咧亦都係接受佢嘅靈性導師啦 Narada Muni 嘅指導。
And Narada Muni had taken instruction from his father, Lord Brahma.
咁而 Narada Muni 咧亦都係由佢父親啦主 Brahma 嗰度咧係接受呢一個嘅訓示。
And Lord Brahma had heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Krishna.
咁而主 Brahma 咧就係由主 Krishna 嗰度咧係聆聽呢個聖典博迦談。
So we may say, oh, Sukadeva Goswami is described here that he delivered the Bhagavatam to Emperor Parikshit.
咁喺度咧表面上睇咧係 Sukadeva Goswami 咧將呢一個聖典博迦談咧係講述俾 Parikshit 王聽。
So is Parikshit in the disciplic succession?
咁 Parikshit 王係咪喺呢個師道傳承入邊呢？
Of course he's in it, but he's not a guru. He's not going to go on and distribute the knowledge to somebody else.
咁當然啦 ，Parikshit 王係喺呢個包含喺呢個師道傳承入邊嘅，但係咧佢並唔係一個靈性導師，佢亦都唔會咧係將呢個知識咧再傳俾其他人。
Parikshit's preparing for death. After he heard the Bhagavatam, then he was bitten by the snake bird and he went back to Godhead.
咁 Parikshit 王咧當時喺度準備接受死亡啦，佢當佢聆聽完聖典博迦談之後咧，佢就俾呢個毒蛇咬啦，就係跟住咧就回歸神手。
Just like people often ask us about Arjuna, where's Arjuna in the disciplic succession?
咁就好同樣地咧，好多人亦都會問啦，究竟 Arjuna 喺呢一個師道傳承入邊，佢嘅身份係咩咧？
Arjuna had received the knowledge from Lord Krishna.
咁咧，Arjuna 係由主 Krishna 嗰度咧接受呢個知識。
But later on, Arjuna also went to Himalayas with the Pandavas and they went back to Godhead.
咁但係之後咧，Arjuna 亦都同 Pandavas 五兄弟一齊咧去到喜馬拉雅山啦，跟住亦都係咧回歸神手。
So it's not that everyone who receives this knowledge will become a guru and go on and distribute the knowledge to others.
咁即係話咧，唔係每一個人啦，去接受喺呢個師道傳承入邊接受呢個知識之後咧，都會成為靈性導師，再將呢個知識咧傳授俾其他人。
But some people are given that opportunity to do that service.
咁但係咧，有啲人咧係會得到呢個機會咧去做呢個服務。
So it's mentioned that this knowledge should be received through the disciplic succession.
咁所以咧，呢個喺度講到啦，呢個知識咧必須要由呢個師徒傳承入邊咧係接受嘅。
Just like it says, if you receive a mantra, and you must receive it through the authorized channel, which means through the disciplic succession.
咁就好似我哋話咧，我哋去接受一個曼陀咧，都係要一個有權威嘅嗰度去接受啦。咁即係話咧，係要通過呢個師徒傳承去接受。
The Vedic statement is Sampradaya Vihina Ye Mantraste Nishphala Mata. That if you receive any mantra without receiving it through the disciplic succession, then it will not bear any fruit.
咁咧，偉達入邊有一個詩節就講到啦，如果我哋唔係通過師徒傳承去得到呢啲曼陀嘅話咧，咁其實咧呢個曼陀咧係唔會即係唔會令到我哋咧結任何嘅果實。
You chant the mantra, you may get the mantra and you can chant the mantra, but if you don't receive it in the authorized manner, by the mercy of a guru, it will not have any fruit.
咁你可能咧係通過其他方法得到呢個曼陀啦，但係如果唔係由你嘅靈性導師去得到嘅話咧，你係可以念誦呢個曼陀，但係你唔會得到呢個曼陀俾你嘅果實。
Sometimes people like to chant Gayatri mantra.
咁有啲人咧就係佢中意念呢個 Gayatri 曼陀。
So Gayatri mantra, qualification to chant Gayatri mantra really is that one should be in the mode of goodness. He should be a Brahman.
咁但係我哋去念呢個Gayatri 曼陀嘅資格咧，就係咧一個人咧必須要處在呢一個善良屬性當中，佢必須咧要係一個婆羅門。
Gayatri mantra is meant for the Brahmanas to chant, but other people may also chant, and of course they may get some benefit, but they will not get the ultimate benefit.
咁呢個 Gayatri 嘅曼陀咧就係其實係就係婆羅門所念誦嘅啦。咁其他人都可以念嘅，佢可能都會有得到少少嘅益處啦，但係咧並唔會得到呢個曼陀帶俾你最終嘅呢一個嘅益處。
So receiving the knowledge and receiving the mantras and everything, it should be done in the proper process, through the proper channel, means from the spiritual teacher to the disciple.
咁所以咧，要接受呢啲知識啦，接受呢啲曼陀咧，必須由一個正確認可嘅途徑啦。咁咧就係通過呢一個靈性導師同埋門徒呢個師徒傳承嘅關係。
So Sukadeva Goswami spoke the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, and at that time other people were also there because they wanted to hear.
咁當時咧，當 Sukadeva Goswami 向 Parikshit 王講述聖典博伽談嘅時候咧，在場咧有好多其他嘅人都喺度嘅，因為佢哋都想同一時間去聆聽聖典博伽談。
And it's mentioned here in the purport how all great sages, rishis, philosophers, mystics, etc. went there due to Maharaj Parikshit's imperial position.
咁咧喺要旨入邊都講到啦，由於 Parikshit 王當時係一個帝王嘅身份啦，咁所以所有偉大嘅聖哲啦、賢人啦、哲學家啦、神秘主義者咧都趕到嗰度。
Initially, Maharaj Parikshit, when he heard the news of his curse, then he understood he must immediately prepare for death.
咁當 Parikshit 王咧係聽到咧佢係對佢嘅呢個詛咒嘅時候咧，佢咧就明白到佢即刻咧就要去準備咧面對呢個死亡。
So he immediately gave up his throne, left his family, and went to a holy place.
咁所以咧佢即刻咧就係放棄佢嘅帝王嘅身份啦，放棄佢嘅家庭啦，就去到一個咧神聖嘅地方。
And he's so determined, he makes a vow to fast, not to eat or drink.
佢亦都咧非常之有決心嘅，佢就立咗一個誓言啦，就會由嗰一刻開始咧係斷飲斷食。
So at that time, there were many different people who came there because he's a very important person. He was the king, the ruler, and so many great personalities all came.
咁當時咧好多好偉大嘅聖人啦、哲學家啦，佢哋咧都因為 Parikshit 王係一個好偉大當時嘅君王，所以咧佢哋都去到呢個地方去見佢。
And there were many different suggestions about what he should do.
咁當時咧亦都向佢提出好多唔同嘅建議，佢嗰一刻應該做啲乜嘢？
You know, some were saying, well, we could do another, we should, what could we do? We could chant some mantras to protect you from the snake.
咁咧有啲聖人就提議啦，不如我哋咧念一啲曼陀咧，令到你唔受呢個毒蛇所影響，我哋保護你。
Do something to counteract the curse.
咁咧做啲嘢咧去對抗呢個詛咒。
But Parikshit Maharaj was not very much concerned with that.
但係咧當時 Parikshit 王咧根本對呢啲嘢咧完全都唔關心。
He thought, no, I did wrong, I did something wrong, I should be punished.
因為咧佢明白到咧佢做錯啲嘢啦，所以佢應該接受呢個懲罰。
And it must be the arrangement of the Lord that I'm to die.
咁呢個咧亦都一定係主嘅安排咧，佢必須要去接受死亡。
But I want to know how do I prepare for my death?
咁但係咧，我要知道我究竟應該點樣去準備我嘅面對呢個死亡。
And so it happened that while they were all discussing, different sages and philosophers were all giving their different opinions. At that time, Sukadeva Goswami appeared.
咁當呢啲聖人啦、哲學家喺度，大家互相討論究竟應該 Parikshit 王應該做啲咩嘅時候咧，Sukadeva Goswami 咧就係去到呢個現場啦。
And Sukadeva Goswami was respected because he's the son of Srila Vyasadeva.
咁當時在場嘅每一個人咧都非常之尊敬Sukadeva Goswami 啦，因為咧佢係Vyasadeva 嘅兒子。
And he's also a devotee of Krishna.
佢當然 Sukadeva Goswami 咧亦都係主 Krishna 嘅一個奉獻者。
And Maharaj Parikshit also had devotion for Krishna.
咁而 Parikshit 王咧亦都咧係對咧 Krishna 咧係充滿咗奉愛。
Because Maharaj Parikshit is the grandson of the Pandavas.
因為咧 Parikshit 王咧係 Pandavas 五兄弟嘅孫。
And the Pandavas were very great devotees of Lord Krishna.
而 Pandavas 五兄弟咧係主 Krishna 非常非常偉大嘅奉獻者。
So Maharaj Parikshit had the good fortune to be born in the womb of Uttara, and he was conceived in the womb by Abhimanyu, who was the son of Arjuna.
咁所以咧 Parikshit 王係非常之幸運啦，因為佢係 Arjuna 嘅兒子 Abhimanyu。Abhimanyu 係佢父親啦，而佢亦都咧係由佢媽媽咧 Uttara 嗰度咧係出生。
So Sukadeva Goswami appeared, and Maharaj Parikshit recognized that he's the son of Vyasadeva, or maybe somebody told him that this is Srila Vyasadeva's son, and they thought, well, he's a devotee of Krishna. I'm also in a family of devotees. I want to hear from a devotee.
咁當 Parikshit 王見到 Sukadeva Goswami 咧，佢嘅時候咧，佢就知道咧佢係 Vyasadeva 嘅兒子啦，佢係一個奉獻者啦。而 Parikshit 王咧亦都係一個喺奉獻者嘅家庭出生，佢自己亦都係一個奉獻者，佢就決定咧佢要由 Sukadeva Goswami 嗰度咧聆聽呢一切嘅知識。
And in this way, the two of them sat down, and Sukadeva Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam.
咁於是咧，佢兩個人就坐喺恒河邊啦，就開始咧講述呢個聖典博伽談。
And then Prabhupada then talks about Shankaracharya, who was preaching the Mayavadi philosophy and stressing the impersonal feature.
咁跟住咧，聖帕帕就講述咧呢一個假象中 Mayavadi 嘅哲學啦。喺度咧 Shankaracharya 咧，佢係傳播強調絕對者非人格特徵嘅假象中哲學。
But Prabhupada quotes that Shankaracharya, although he was preaching the Mayavadi philosophy, he recommended that at the time of death he should take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord.
咁雖然咧 Shankaracharya 係鼓吹呢一個非人格特徵 Mayavadi 嘅哲 哲學啦，但係咧佢本人咧亦都係喺呢度咧，亦都係強調就係當人面對死亡嘅時候咧，人咧都必須咧要託庇於主 Govinda 嘅蓮花足。
At the time of death, you want to be able to chant the name of Govinda.
喺死亡嘅時候，緊要關頭咧，人必須咧要念誦 Govinda 嘅名字。
Shankaracharya is quoted as saying, there's a famous stotram which he wrote, the Bhaja Govindam stotram.
咁咧有一個 stotram 咧就好出名嘅，叫 Bhaja Govinda。
He said, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Mudhamate, Samprapte, Nahi Nahi Kalati, Ruchim Karite. Shankaracharya is saying, worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda, you fools, you rascals. All your mental speculation and word jugglery will do you no good at the time of death.
咁呢個一個好出名嘅一個讚歌啦，就係 Shankaracharya 所寫嘅，就係叫人咧一定要去崇拜 Govinda， 崇拜 Govinda， 崇拜 Govinda。你哋呢啲大蠢材、大傻瓜，當喺死亡嘅時候咧，人必須要去崇拜 Govinda。
So Shankaracharya was actually saying what the real goal of studying the Vedas.
咁喺度咧 ，Shankaracharya 係講述咗咧呢個去研讀偉大經典嘅真正目的。
Prabhupada talks about how Shankaracharya had given a very flowery grammatical interpretation of Vedanta Sutra.
咁喺度咧，聖爸爸講述到咧，就係 Shankaracharya 咧寫咗一個非常之繁複嘅文法修辭，對呢個 Vedanta Sutra 嘅一個評注。
So everyone, many people, they give a lot of importance to the Vedanta Sutra.
咁好多人咧都係非常之重視咧呢個 Vedanta Sutra 嘅呢一部嘅評注。
Veda means knowledge.
咁 Veda 意思就係知識。
And Vedanta means the end of knowledge.
Vedanta 意思就即係話知識嘅盡頭。
And Sutra means condensed.
Sutra 咧就係話咧精華咁解。
So because it's all condensed, it's very difficult to understand the meaning.
因為呢啲咧都係一啲好精華嘅一啲嘅詩節啦，咁所以咧我哋要去明白呢啲詩節嘅內容咧，其實係非常之困難。
So the Mayavadi sannyasis, they spend all their time studying the Vedanta.
咁所以咧呢啲Mayavadi 假象中嘅托缽僧咧，佢咧就係花佢一生嘅時間咧，係去研讀呢啲Vedanta嘅經典。
And they speculate on what is the meaning.
咁佢哋亦都係心意推敲呢啲經典嘅內容。
But Shankaracharya said all of this will do you no good at the time of death.
咁但係 Shankaracharya 咧，佢就講啦，所有呢一切咧，都喺你死亡嘅時候咧，都唔可以幫到你。
What you should do is worship Govinda.
你應該做啲乜嘢咧？喺死亡嘅時候，你就應該去崇拜 Govinda。
So of course the Mayavadi sannyasis said, when you point this out to them, they have some other speculation. They say, no, he means something else.
咁但係當然啦，呢啲係喺假象中嘅 Mayavadi 嘅托缽僧，佢就話唔係㗎，其實咧 Shankaracharya 所講嘅嘢咧係另外一啲嘢，另外一啲意思。
And they even say Govinda means something else. They won't admit Govinda means the name of God.
咁佢甚至咧會話咧 Govinda 呢個字咧係其實所指係其他嘢，佢哋唔認同咧 Govinda 係神嘅一個名字。
Go means the cows, but go also means the senses.
咁咧高係牛，有另外一個意思就係牛啦，亦都係有一個意思就係我哋嘅感官。
So in this way, the Mayavadis are able to give interpretations to all these different words.
咁所以咧呢啲假象中嘅哲學家佢就會俾好多呢啲字嘅一啲唔同嘅解釋。
But if we understand what is the actual message of the Vedanta Sutra, then we'll know what Srila Shankaracharya was talking about.
咁但係當然我哋要明白Vedanta Sutra 真正嘅意思係乜嘢咧？亦都要明白咧 Shankaracharya 所講嘅係乜嘢。
He's talking that just like in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also says, Yam yam vapismaram bhavam chajite anti kalevaram Tam tam evaitikonteya sadatat bhava bhavitaha. Whatever you remember, this chapter 8 in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you remember at the time of death, that state you will attain without fail.
咁呢個係《薄伽梵歌》第8章嘅第8章第6節啦，就講到觀體嘅兒子啊，人在離開軀體時，無論記起什麼情形，就必會到達那情景。
And then Krishna says in the next verse, he said, Antakale chamameva smaran mukva kalevaram ya praiti samadbhavam yati nasyatra samshaya. That one who remembers me at the time of death, then he will come to me without fail.
咁呢個係第5節嘅第8章第5節嘅詩節啦。在死亡時銘記着我離開軀體嘅人，立刻獲得我嘅本質，這是毫無疑問的。
So Prabhupada is pointing out that all the great acharyas, they all had the same thing, same point, that at the end one must be able to remember the Supreme Lord.
咁所以咧，聖巴巴所指出嘅就係所有嘅之前嘅靈性導師咧，其實佢指出同一樣嘅嘢，就係話咧，當我哋喺死亡嗰一刻嘅時候咧，必須咧要係記憶住至尊主。
Sukadeva Goswami said, Ante Narayana Smriti, at the end of life you must remember Lord Narayan.
咁而Sukadeva Goswami 都講到啦，就係當一個人死亡嘅時候咧，必須要記着 Narayana。
And Lord Krishna said we have to remember him.
咁而主 Krishna 就話啦，我哋必須要記憶住佢。
And Sukadeva Goswami, Shankaracharya said you have to worship Govinda.
就 Sukadeva Goswami 啦，亦都係 Shankaracharya 亦都係喺度講啦，我哋必須要崇拜 Govinda。
And so this same message is being presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
咁所以咧，同一個信息咧，亦都喺聖典《薄伽梵》嗰度咧係有講述嘅。
And it was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami and heard by Maharaj Pariksit, and so many others also heard.
咁喺呢度咧，係 Sukadeva Goswami 向 Pariksit 王講述聖典《薄伽梵》啦，而當時亦都有好多其他嘅聖人咧，亦都係同樣聽到嘅。
And those who were fortunate souls, they heard and they would understand, they would be benefited, they'd be delivered.
咁呢啲咁幸運嘅靈魂啦，當佢哋聆聽到呢啲知識，佢哋去能夠明白咧，佢哋咧能夠得到解脫。
That the people in the audience, they're also benefited by hearing the transcendental discussions between the spiritual teacher and the inquiring soul.
咁喺當時係聆聽住嘅呢啲聽眾咧，佢哋亦都係非常之幸運啦，因為咧佢哋聆聽到咧呢一個超然嘅靈性導師啦，同埋呢一個好學嘅呢一個嘅學生呢個門徒之間嘅對話，佢哋亦都會得到咧呢個解脫。
So Maharaj Pariksit had come there, and of course he's got questions. He wants to know how to prepare for death.
咁 Pariksit 王嚟到呢一度咧，佢有一個問題就係話：我究竟我點樣去準備呢個死亡？
And Sukadeva Goswami has come to help him, to guide him.
咁咧 Sukadeva Goswami 就嚟到呢個地方咧，嚟到指導佢，係嚟到去教導佢。
We can say it's the arrangement of the Supreme Lord that Sukadeva Goswami came just at that time.
呢個咧亦都係至尊主嘅安排啦。Sukadeva Goswami 就喺呢一刻咧嚟到。
So, and Maharaj Pariksit is also very serious to hear.
咁而 Maharaj Pariksit 咧亦都係一個非常認真咧去聆聽。
He is so serious that he's vowed to give up eating and sleeping and drinking.
佢係非常之認真嘅，佢咧立咗個誓咧係唔食嘢啦，唔飲水都唔瞓覺。
We find difficulty to hear.
我哋咧就算係淨係去聆聽咧，都係非常之困難。
And we find it very difficult to give up eating and drinking.
咁對於我哋嚟講咧，要係去斷飲斷食，亦都係非常之困難。
But Maharaj Pariksit is very serious.
咁咧，但係咧 Maharaj Pariksit 咧係非常之認真。
He knows the end of life is coming very, very soon.
佢知道咧呢一個生命嘅盡頭咧，好快就會嚟到。
And he doesn't want to be diverted by thinking just to maintain the body.
佢咧唔想咧任何嘢咧係即係淨係去維係佢嘅身體咧，佢唔想呢啲嘢騷擾佢。
So human life is meant for this kind of austerity.
咁咧人生咧其實咧就係要做呢一啲嘅苦行。
The animals, they cannot do this kind of thing.
動物咧唔可以做呢啲嘢。
But intelligent human beings who are thoughtful about the purpose of life, they will make arrangements.
但係有智慧嘅人啦，佢係可以識得去思想啦，佢就會做呢一啲嘅作出呢啲嘅安排。
They will prepare themselves for detach themselves from the world.
佢咧會準備自己啦，係令到自己咧係能夠咧係由呢個世界咧係唔依附呢個世界。
The Vedic culture is instructing us like that.
偉大嘅文獻咧係咁樣教導我哋。
That as we get older, we have to detach from the material pleasures of life.
咁咧，當我哋年紀越嚟越大嘅時候咧，我哋必須咧要唔依附呢個物質世界入邊嘅快樂。
And we see people like Dhritarashtra, even although he was so attached, at the end of life, he detached himself and went to the forest.
我哋見到好多例子啦，譬如好似 Dhritarashtra 咁樣啦，佢雖然咧係非常之依附，但係到佢年老嘅時候咧，佢咧就係完全棄住一切咧，就去到森林。
And his wife followed him also.
而佢嘅太太亦都係跟從佢。
And so they both got a better next life.
咁佢哋兩個咧都喺下一世咧能夠得到更加好嘅人生。
So human life, it's especially meant for this kind of detachment.
咁人嘅生命咧就係應該咧係要過呢啲棄絕嘅生活。
And we see other examples of other great souls like Dhruva Maharaj. At the end of life, he went to the Badarik ashram to live up in the Himalayas.
咁亦都好多其他嘅例子咧，好似 Dhruva Maharaj 咁啦，去到人生嘅盡頭嘅時候咧，佢就去到喜馬拉雅嘅巴傳尼嗰度咧，住喺呢個修院入邊。
He went to detach himself.
佢咧要係將自己咧從一切當中咧係棄絕。
We see what do people do nowadays.
咁我哋睇到現今嘅人咧，佢哋會做啲乜嘢
In their old age, when they retire, they want to go to some holiday place.
咁而家好多人咧，當佢哋年老啦、退休啦，佢咧就會去一啲度假嘅地方去享受。
Like in the US, people will all go to Florida or Arizona, where it's very warm and sun shines, and they'll want to live there comfortably and die comfortably.
咁咧就好似喺美國啦，咁當啲人年紀大啦、退休之後咧，佢哋就會去啲好溫暖嘅地方，譬如佛羅里達州啦，或者係Arizona I don't know the Chinese anyway Arizona 嘅地方，呢啲溫暖嘅地方去過去嘅最後嘅生命，可以咧好舒適咁生活啦，好舒適咁樣離開。
The people in material world, materialistic, they keep their attachments. In fact, their attachments become stronger at the end of life.
咁咧物質主義嘅人咧，佢哋咧會維係住佢哋嘅依附啊！呢啲依附咧，甚至當佢係面對死亡年老嘅時候咧，變得更加強。
They have children, they're attached, and then when the grandchildren come, they become more attached.
咁佢哋有仔女啦，佢哋好依附佢哋嘅仔女啦。當佢哋有孫嘅時候咧，佢哋會更加依附佢哋嘅孫。
So we're meant to get away from these things before the end of life.
咁但係我哋咧係應該喺死亡結束之前咧，我哋要放棄呢一切。
Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us about the importance of renunciation.
聖典博家談咧教導我哋咧呢個棄絕嘅重要性。
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also taught about the importance of these things.
咁而主喺坦耶媽帕布咧亦都係教導我哋同樣嘅嘢。
This was appreciated by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
咁而Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 咧係非常欣賞呢個教導。
He composed verses glorifying Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
佢咧寫咗好多詩節咧係好榮耀主喺坦耶媽帕布。
One of the verses is very famous, known by all the devotees.
咁有一個詩節咧係非常之出名嘅，好多嘅奉獻者咧都識嘅。
Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shiksharta Eka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradari Kripambudir Yastvam Aham Prapadye. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was describing the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
咁咧，沙巴邦巴巴塔查利咧喺度咧描述緊主海坦爺嘅使命。
He said, I offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come to teach us transcendental knowledge and detachment from everything which does not foster devotion to Krishna.
咁咧主海坦爺媽帕波佢嘅顯現咧，就係教導我哋咧要棄住一切咧同主 Krishna 冇關係嘅嘢，同埋咧係教導我哋呢個超然嘅知識。
And he has appeared to teach us what has almost been lost in the course of time.
佢咧係教導我哋呢啲知識咧喺時間當中咧已經差唔多係完全消失。
So he is an ocean of mercy.
佢係咧呢一個仁慈嘅海洋。
I bow down to his lotus feet.
我咧向佢嘅蓮花足頂拜。
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching this message of Bhagavatam, and this is being appreciated by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
咁主海坦爺咧係教導呢個聖典博伽談入邊嘅知識啦，而咧亦都係咧係得到咧Bhattacharya 嘅欣賞。
Where there is genuine devotion, there will be also knowledge and detachment.
當我哋擁有真正嘅知識嘅時候咧，我哋都會有呢個就會得到咧呢個奉愛同埋棄絕。
Right? Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojata Jnana Yasu Vairagyam Jnana Yasu Vairagyam Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojata Jnana Yasu Vairagyam. I'm forgetting. Anyway, by practice of devotional service, one automatically acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world.
通過咧係呢個奉愛服務咧，人自然咧就能夠咧得到呢一個超然嘅知識同埋棄絕。
Bhakti Yoga Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojata Jnana Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahaitukam. Jnanam Chayad Ahaitukam. Like that. That causeless knowledge and detachment are the result of practicing Bhakti Yoga.
通過咧收集呢個奉愛瑜伽咧，人就會得到呢一個呢個知識啦，同埋呢個棄絕。
So, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam will help us to cultivate these qualities.
咁咧，通過聆聽聖典博伽談咧，就能夠令我哋培養出呢一個嘅知識。
Any question?
Maharaj, you mentioned that we have to receive mantra through the parampara. How about like Gayatri mantra? But how about the Maha mantra? 我嘅問題就係Maharaj頭先講到啦，我哋要通過師父傳承咧，你要接受呢個曼陀啦，譬如 Gayatri 曼陀啦。咁但係譬如我哋講嘅 Maha mantra 係咪都需要通過一個師父傳承去接受咧？
Yes, Maha mantra also has to come through the right channel. Because there's many Mayavadas who are also chanting Hare Krishna.
咁所以咧，其實Maha mantra 咧，亦都要通過一個正式權威嘅渠道啦，就係呢個師父傳承嗰度咧去接受嘅。因為咧好多咧非人格神主義 Mayavadi 嘅人咧，佢都會咧係念誦呢一個 Maha mantra。
If you chant the mantra coming from them, then you'll develop the desire for impersonal liberation, for Mayavada.
如果我哋通過呢一啲非人格神主義者嘅人咧，係得到呢個曼陀嚟去念誦嘅話咧，咁我哋就會發展出培養出一個傾向咧，就係接受呢一個非人格神主義嘅呢一啲知識。
So Maha mantra also has to come through the right channel.
咁所以咧我哋都要通過正確嘅途徑咧嚟到得到呢個Maha mantra。
And when people get the Maha mantra from Hare Krishna devotees, the result is they'll also become devoted a little bit.
咁所以咧，如果係通過奉獻者嚟到接受咗呢一個 Maha mantra 咧，佢都會咧係會發展出一個咧有一啲嘅奉獻者嘅呢一個嘅品質。
But there are other people who chant Hare Krishna, they're not devotees.
咁但係好多唔係奉獻者人咧，佢都會念誦呢一個 Maha Mantra。
Their chanting is a means to becoming
Krishna。Becoming Krishna，佢哋咧就希望咧通過念誦咧嚟到成為 Krishna， 變成 Krishna。
They want to become one with the Supreme。
佢哋想同至尊咧係合二為一。
They're worshipping Krishna, they're reading Bhagavad Gita, they're chanting Hare Krishna。
咁佢哋咧係閱讀聖典普加嘅談啦，佢哋讀普加梵歌啦，佢哋咧係念誦呢一個 Maha Mantra 啦，等等。
But they're thinking ultimately we'll become one and we'll give all this up。
但係佢哋最終咧就話：我哋會放棄呢一切咧，就同主咧係融為一體。
They're thinking this is just a means to coming to perfection。
佢哋咧會覺得呢個咧只係能夠達到完美嘅一個途徑。
And they think their goal is that we'll become one and then they'll give up they won't need to do anything。
咁佢哋咧佢哋嘅目標就係咧，我最終咧會即係冇呢一切都會放低啦，乜嘢都冇咧，就係同主咧係合二為一。
But we chant Hare Krishna and we will chant in the spiritual world too. And we will worship Krishna in the spiritual world。
但係當我哋去念誦呢個 Maha Mantra 嘅時候咧，我哋嘅目標就希望咧去到呢個靈性世界嘅時候咧，我哋會繼續念誦咧，亦都會為至尊主服務。
And we will read Srimad Bhagavatam in the spiritual world also。
我哋都會喺靈性世界度咧閱讀聖典博加談。
We'll be hearing about Krishna and Krishna's pastimes。
我哋咧會繼續咧係聆聽咧係 Krishna 啦，同埋 Krishna 嘅逍遙時光。
This is the meaning of Sanatana Dharma, eternal religion。
咁呢個咧，所以被稱為咧 Sanatana Dharma，就我哋永恆嘅宗教職責。
Okay, Hare Krishna。Any other question？
有冇其他問題？
馬可蘭講緊咧，我哋點解我哋一定要即係永恆咁去閱讀博加雅談同埋啲經典啦。咁我哋喺閱讀啲經典陣時，如何保持一個恰當嘅心態去閱讀咧？
So Maharaj mentioned that we have to regularly hear all the scriptures, but how can we maintain a correct attitude to hear?
Well, if you're hearing from the right source，then you will be guided how to maintain your correct attitude。
咁咧，如果你係有一個正確嘅權威嘅途徑嗰度聆聽嘅話咧，你就能夠咧係得到指導咧，係點樣去保持呢個正確嘅心水。
Alright, you hear because the speaker will guide you how to properly give attention to this message。
咁因為你嘅聆聽導師咧就會俾你一個指引咧，就係教導你點樣咧能夠咧係正確咁樣係得到呢啲知識，嚟了解呢啲知識。
How to apply this knowledge. It's important that we hear, and we're not just hearing and then forgetting everything, but we have to apply what we're hearing。
咁我哋唔單單係去聆聽啦，同埋跟住就乜都唔記得晒，我哋更加要運用呢一啲知識。
So we have to learn. We have to be thinking how to apply this knowledge。
咁所以我哋要去學習啦，要去思想啦，就係點樣能夠咧運用呢啲知識。
We have to understand the importance of preparing for death。
我哋咧要明白咧，我哋係去準備面對死亡嘅重要性。
The end of life can come。
因為咧死亡嘅一刻咧，可能隨時都會出現。
And it can come anytime。
佢會隨時都可能會出現嘅呢一刻。
For anyone。
任何人、任何一刻都可能會出現。
We may think, oh, I'm young, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm okay。
可能你會諗啦，我好年輕啦，我好健康啦，我好開心啦，我應該冇嘢嘅。
But at any moment, the whole situation can change。
咁但係任何一刻咧，成個處境咧都可能會改變。
So you have to be the duty of somebody who's about to die and the duty of all people at all time are the same。
咁所以咧呢個準備接受死亡嘅人要面對嘅嘢咧，同埋所有人任何一刻咧要面對，其實都係一樣嘅。
And our duty is to hear, chant and remember and worship Krishna。
咁所以我哋嘅職責咧就係去聆聽啦，去記憶啦，去崇拜咧至尊主。
worship Krishna here, hear about Krishna here. Next life we'll go on and continue to hear about
咁
Krishna.
如果我哋喺呢一世，我哋係去崇拜、去聆聽 Krishna 嘅話咧，我哋咧能夠咧就可以咧係下一世咧都會繼續去做呢啲去聆聽 Krishna。
Devotional service is eternal.
因為咧奉愛服務係永恆嘅。
Okay?
我想请问一下马哈拉贾，有一种说法，就是我们经常说，知识应该从师徒传系中，的这些灵性导师们的吸收这样的知识，这样的知识才是正确的。然后又有一种说法，说是超人的知识净化。可以净化一个人。那么我想请问，我们如果去圣地的话，现在有很多的传教的人，比如说7日圣典波加瓦坛这样的讲述者，对于游客来说的话，他们是听到了这样的知识以后，是算是幸运的呢，还是不幸的呢？明白吗？这个意思。对，如果去圣地，像听那样的人讲述，是幸运还是不幸呢？
So her Malaji's question is, we on one hand we have to listen all this knowledge from authorized source like the spiritual master, and all this knowledge is also transcendental. So when some people actually, like tourists, they went to the holy places and they accidentally hear someone reciting, like for example Srimad Bhagavatam. So are these people fortunate or unfortunate?
Which people?
I mean the tourists, like the tourists, they went to, for example, in Darfur, and then accidentally they hear the scriptures. So are they fortunate or unfortunate?
Well, it's up to them how they take advantage of hearing.
咁呢個咧就係睇佢自己啦，佢咧點樣係會唔會好好利用呢一個聆聽嘅機會？
if they hear from somebody who's not a devotee, then at least they're hearing the message of Bhagavatam, so that's some benefit to them.
咁如果佢哋係由一個非奉獻者嗰度聆聽，譬如聖典博加嘅談啦，咁其實佢都會有即係唔係奉獻者嗰度聆聽啦，咁但係佢都會有少少益處嘅，就係起碼我哋咧會得到聖典博加嘅談嘅信息。
So if they take an interest in the Bhagavatam, even though they didn't hear it from a devotee, it's better than not being a devotee.
咁咧，如果佢哋就算喺非奉獻者度聆聽聖典博加嘅談啦，如果佢哋係產生呢個興趣嘅，咁咧都好過佢哋咧係咩都冇聆聽。
And then later on they may meet a devotee and the devotee can instruct them and give them the real understanding.
咁之後咧，佢可能會遇到個真正嘅奉獻者啦，而個奉獻者咧亦都可以咧係俾啲指導佢。
We just had one couple, they had spent several years at Haridasha.
Noitasha.
Hari, huh?
Noitasha.
No, Hari, the Haridasha.
合一大學咩嚟㗎？好似 I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big Mayavadi thing
In
India.
In India.
Yeah, and many Chinese people go there.
Oh, Chinese people?
Huh?
Pay a lot of money.
Yeah, they spend a lot, pay a lot of.
Money is 1 week for 20,000.
Yeah, they spend. It's very.
And the second level, you go to more high, you need to pay
是但啦，是但。100,000.
Yeah, they
咁
pay a lot of.
爸爸就講啦，因為有一對夫婦啦，佢哋中國人 Chinese couple。
No,
唔係you
many
mentioned the
Chinese
couple.
go there.
咁咧就好多中國人咧就會去印度一間叫合一大學嗰度咧，就係佢哋係教導 Mayavadi 嘅哲學嘅非人格神嘅哲學嘅，咁嗰度咧收嘅學費非常之貴嘅，咁而有好多人咧就去嗰度咧係甚至係住咗幾年去到學呢啲嘢。
Yeah, so that's one couple. The lady, she became a devotee.
哦，咁有其中一對夫婦咧，咁但係個女士就成為咗奉獻者。
And now trying to get the man also trying to influence the husband.
咁咧就而家我哋就希望咧係通過個太太嘅影響咧，佢丈夫都可以成為奉獻者。
But everything he says is hey.
OK， I understand 啦。咁所以咧，佢所講嘅所有嘢咧都係要合一，即係同神合一。
He talks about the merging.
就係同神融為一體。
So it takes time. You have to purify people.
咁但係咧需要時間，因為佢要咧係通過好多嘅淨化。
Because they had a lot of association there.
因為咧佢哋喺嗰個地方咧就好多一啲唔好嘅聯。
So they have a lot of bad ideas.
咁所以佢哋好多嘅睇法咧都係唔好嘅。
So it takes time to correct them.
咁咧係需要時間咧嚟到係去淨化。
Right. Just like they say a music teacher. If you go to a music teacher and you don't know anything, then it's easier for the teacher.
Yes. 咁咧就好似你學音樂咁啦。如果一個學生佢乜都唔識嘅，其實咧對個老師嚟講係更加容易嘅，去教佢。
But if you think you know, if you've been learning, you learned all the wrong things, then the teacher has to teach you the right thing.
咁但係咧，如果個學生咧已經係學咗啲嘢㗎啦，但係啲嘢全部都係錯嘅，咁個老師咧其實咧去教佢咧，重新去教佢咧，其實更加困難。
Just like driving car, you know, you learn to if you learn yourself or you learn from somebody who's not a real teacher, you have all the bad habits.
Yes. 就好似咧學揸車咁啦，如果你嗰個老師係唔好嘅，你就學咗好多壞習慣。
But if you learn from the proper source, then it's much better.
咁但係如果你由一個正確嘅途徑嗰度咧去學習嘅話咧，就會好好多。Yeah.
Okay.
咁因為我哋而家喺因為疫情之後咧，咪好多課係變成線上講嘅，所以變成咧係好多唔同嘅人喺度講經典講課。咁我哋如何去辨別佢哋所講嗰啲嘢，佢哋係使徒傳係，即係話如何去保護到自己去聆聽個途徑係正確嘅，即使係奉獻者，因為唔係所有奉獻者佢哋都係去根據嗰個使徒傳係，有陣時佢講下就變成係講緊自己啊，或者講緊經典，但事實上係標榜緊自己，如何去保護到自己喺呢個聆聽過程當中係正確嘅聆聽。
So after COVID, actually many classes are given online, like on Zoom, and so many speakers, even though they are devotees, sometimes they will just speak about themselves and promoting themselves. So how to protect one from listening from the incorrect source online? Some are not devotees, and some even they are devotees. They may not follow strictly the parampara, and during the class they will speak something about themselves. They promote themselves, something like that. Yeah.
Well, we have to know ourselves. What is the proper philosophy? You have to read Prabhupada's books carefully.
咁所以首先我哋要自己要係好認真嘅、好小心咁去閱讀咧聖巴帕嘅書籍。
Then you have to hear from, if we have some doubts about what we're hearing, then we can inquire from other devotees.
咁如果我哋咧去對我哋所聆聽嘅嘢有啲懷疑嘅話咧，我哋可以咧係向其他奉獻者詢問。
Yeah, we do want to be careful about what we're hearing.
咁我哋咧要去聆聽啲乜嘢咧，必須要非常之小心。
So, if a person doesn't know, then of course they'll believe everything they hear.
咁如果個人咧係一無所知嘅，佢當然就會接受咧所有去聆聽嘅嘢。
So we should be. The people who are monitoring these things, they should be listening to the classes.
咁佢嗰啲咧係監控嘅人啦嘅奉獻者咧，都佢自己咧都應該係要去聽呢一啲嘅講課。
We should make sure that the speakers are all authorized and what they're speaking is authorized.
咁所以咧就要保證咧就係呢啲講者咧，佢哋係被授權㗎啦，同埋咧係講緊啲正確嘅嘢。It's not just the speaker, also the hearer. Sometimes, they may not be devotees, or they have a particular purpose, and then they ask questions, directing questions, so that actually they have another. I mean, they are not trying to learn something, but they actually try to get something from the speaker, or try to make them speak the wrong thing. It happens. 咁我所講就係唔單止個講者，個聆聽嘅人有陣時都會問一啲唔正確嘅。
So the people who are leading the classes, they have to be careful what questions are being presented.
咁所以咧就嗰個主持人咧要好小心啦。究竟即係聽嘅人咧，佢哋問嘅問題咧都要係問得正確嘅。
Okay, Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.